So the given question today is called permutation 2. So basically it says that we'll be given an array of numbers and we have to print all its possible permutation in any order. Okay, so it also says that all the permutations should be unique. Okay, now this is a very important backtracking question. With this concept, you can solve many other questions like combination sum, subsets. So yeah, so let's get started with this question. So what to think? So the first question comes like, how can we think about this? Think of how to frame the answer. So think of it like something like this. So if we have the input as 1, 2, 3, is it recording? Yeah. Then do one thing first, that is swap 1 with itself. So we are swapping 1 and 1. We get 1, 2, 3. In the second step, we'll swap 1 with 2. So we'll get 2, 1, 3. Next, we'll swap 1 with 3 and we'll get 3, 2, 1. Okay, so this is the first layer, or you can say first level, where we swap 1 with all other 2 pairs and itself. Next, since we have already swapped 1, now we'll focus on 2 and 3. So we'll say, okay, swap 2 with 2 and then swap 2 with 3. Similarly, over here we'll swap 1 with 1 and then 1 with 3. Again, we'll swap 2 with 2 and swap 2 with 1, right? So in third level, we'll have the first two numbers already in its position. Now we'll consider last element, which is 3. So we'll say swap 3 with 3. So if we swap 3 with 3, we'll get 1, 2, 3. Again over here, if we swap 2 with 2, we'll get 1, 3, 2. And similarly, all. So if you see, in this example, we are easily able to find the permutation using this tree-like structure. Okay, so what we are doing is we are basically swapping. So if we take I from the 0 to the size of the array, over here it will be 2 because 0, 1, 2, sorry 3, 0, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3 because there are 3 elements. So if we swap the I, which is in over here, let's just take 0 first. So we'll swap 0 with begin, which is this. So we are basically swapping 1 with 1 and then we are going back to the original, that is 1, 2, 3, and then we are swapping 1 with 2. We swapped 1 with 2, again we are going back and saying 1, 2, 3, and then we are swapping 2 with 3, which is 3, 2, 1. Over here as well, if we take this example, 1, 2, 3. Now we are swapping 2 with 2, we get 1, 2, 3. Again we go back to 1, 2, 3 and we swap 2 and 3, right? Okay, so let's start coding. I would suggest take this as a template example or question for many other backtracking questions. So the first thing which we need is we definitely want to return a 2D array, 2D vector. Let's call it res. And finally, we will be returning this res. Now what will go inside this res? So for this res, we will need to write the function so that we can swap and then redo it and then again swap. So let's make a function itself, a separate function. Let's call it permute util, and this will take nums for sure and 0. Now I'll tell you why. And res, that is the 2D vector. Now we'll make this function permute, which will take this nums, comma, int begin, that is the first number from which we'll start. Like for this level, 1 is our begin. for this level over here 2 is our begin, right? Next, res, which is a vector, 2D vector. Let's just take this. Okay, now what we'll do is basically we will be making, first let's make a base case, that is anytime begin is let's just say if my begin is equal to the size of the array, which is nums, like over here, whenever it was equal to, like for the last element we need to stop, right? Because like beyond this we won't get any unique elements. So we can say that if begin is equal to nums dot size, then we'll say simply just add res dot push back nums and return this because we're done. Okay, next what we want is we'll run a loop from first to the end of index, and we'll swap the beginning element with all of them, right? So let's just do this. So we'll make a loop for int I equals to begin, and I will be less than nums dot size I plus plus, right? Now the first thing which we need to do is we need to swap I with begin. So nums of I comma nums of begin, we'll swap it, and once we swap this, that is basically once we swap 1 to 3 and we swap 1 with 1, we need to call the permute function again for this 1 to 3. So we'll write permute util for this one again, which we'll pass the parameters, and next it will be begin plus 1, because like you can see we have already swapped for 1, now we are swapping for 2, so which is 1, like begin plus 1. So next we'll just simply pass result. Okay, next after swapping 1 to 3, we will go back at it again, and we need to, like for 1 2 3 over here, once we swap 1 1, we call permute function for this. Now we are going back to 1 2 3 and we'll swap 1 and 2. So we'll again write swap nums of I comma nums of begin, and this function will run again. Okay, now we can simply say this will be the answer. But if we have to find the unique elements, right, as the question is given, this solution, by the way, will work for the question permutation. Yeah, so as I was saying, this solution will work for a question of Leetcode called permutation, but this won't work for this because we need to return all possible unique permutation. Now, how can we do that is we can make a set which will contain all the result values, because set contains unique values always. So we can make a set, and we can keep adding values of num to it, like this one to it, instead of adding to res, and then we can finally have a unique possible values of permutation, right? So we can add a set, and it will contain set vector, and let's call it res. Let's call this one answer. Over here we'll return answer, and whatever final value we get from set, we can just say that vector oh sorry. So we will be adding the values in the set, and then we'll finally say that now we can, once we have the values in set, we can add it to our answer variable, answer 2D vector, and we can say res dot begin comma res dot end. This way, we are basically, what we are doing is we are sending a vector a set instead of vector in our permututal function, and then finally we are copying the values of set into our vector answer, and we are finally returning this vector answer. Now what changes we need to make over here is basically simply we can say res dot insert, because pushback is for vector and for set we use insert. So yeah, now every time it sees already added value, it won't count this, and basically this res will have all the unique values. We need to change this, sorry. Yeah, now hopefully this should work. Okay, so yeah, this is the solution for the question. Thank you so much.